I'm always saying that, resilience is something that all the revenues must have because, being a revenue manager, you work with something which is very personal, which is price. Because price for the owner of the company is always cheap, and for the sales team, the same price is expensive. You need to be also really resilient because you will not be able to make everyone in the hotel happy.
Welcome back to the Turndown. Sebastian here, and today we're jetting off to Benidorm in Spain to chat with Diego de Ponga, CEO of Port Hotels. We're diving into managing a dozen properties, almost 2,000 rooms, and being responsible for more than 1,000 employees. We talked to Diego about his personal journey from revenue management to becoming CEO. He's got some incredible insights about the future of AI in hospitality, especially in revenue management. And the one thing every revenue manager needs to know about commissions. But what Diego reveals about the future of real ADR may just change how you see revenue management forever. Hi there. It is my pleasure to welcome Diego. Diego is the CEO of Port Hotels and joining us from Benidorm today. Welcome to the program, Diego.
Thank you very much, Sebastian, to host that podcast and giving me the opportunity to be here with all of you. So I'm really happy with that.
It is my pleasure to have you. I want to get started with our standard question, our opening question, which is, Diego, I'm curious what is keeping you up at night these days?
I need to say that I'm sleeping almost pretty well during all my life. But if I need to say something about that question, is, trying to don't let down people. I think that it has been something during all my life. First with my parents, second with my wife and kids, now with my professional career. I don't like to let down people in my daily basis. So I'm trying to do always my best with high standards. Because of that, if I need to say something, take into account that I'm sleeping very well because I'm trying to, always do correct things, but I don't want to let down people.
Okay.
If I do something in my life, I try to do with a high 100% standards and try to get the best result possible. So this is, if something makes me awake, this is something like that.
And you have, if I understand correctly, in your company, about 1,000 employees that are working for you or working with you.
Yeah, they are. I think that you have said perfectly. They are working with me. They are part of the team. I'm part of the team also. And, working with 1,000 employees is so happy for me. I mean, I'm always learning something from somebody because we are a lot. For sure, I mean, I have a really close group of colleagues in the headquarters, which is almost 20 persons right now. But when you visit the hotels and you know people, you know your colleagues in the hotels, you are always learning something about them. It's my dream job right now. So I'm enjoying every minute that I'm living right now. So I'm really happy with that and to collaborate with almost these 1,000 people.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, for the listeners of this program who don't know Port Hotels, I would love for you to give us a quick overview of the properties, the type of hotels that you have. Help us discover Port Hotels.
Yeah, Port Hotels is a Spanish company based in Costa Blanca. Costa Blanca is one of the most important areas for our industry, the tourism industry right now in Spain. We have 11 properties, which are almost 2,000 rooms. It's almost 2,000 rooms, 11 properties. And we have hotels in Valencia, Benidorm, Alicante, Elche, Denia, and Calp, which is almost the whole area of Costa Blanca. We have hotels from 3-star hotels, 4-star hotels, and 4-star superior hotels. And some part of the portfolio are family hotels, some part of the portfolio business-oriented hotels. Almost we have vacational hotels and also city hotels. So we try to cover some big part of the market. We have 2, 3, including 4 type of hotels. We try to give our clients what they need or what we think that they need. We are one of the most important chains here in the area, so we are happy with that. The company has almost 60 years of history in the area, so we are a family business. We're a family-owned business, and we are really proud of that. We work for the Mayor family, which is one of the most important families in the Costa Blanca. They have been delivering excellent results since almost 60 years ago. 60, which is it's impressive
That's
right now
amazing.
to see that in the markets. So I'm speaking for my company as when I'm speaking with my kids. So honored to have my kids and also so honored to work in this company. No? So please visit our website burhotels.es and we would love to be your next holiday or resort or city hotel resident for the next occasion.
And your typical hotel is on the beach, is on like in a leisure setting?
Yeah, we have half of the portfolio in the leisure segment and half of the portfolio in the city hotel segment. Also, we accept pets, Sebastian. So no problem if you want to bring the next occasion. So we try to cover almost the whole spread of the market. As I said, city hotels, resort hotels close to the beach, and having some part of the portfolio focus on families, some part of the portfolio focus on couples or individuals.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm curious about your own career. How did you become CEO of Port Hotels? I saw you have your origins are in revenue management, but help me understand how do you become CEO of a hotel group like this?
I was appointed as CEO of Port Hotels almost 90 months ago, so I'm pretty new in the job.
Congratulations!
I'm almost pretty now. I'm pretty new. For my career, I was working for Paladin Hotels, Paladin Hotel Group, which is one of the biggest chains in Spain, and I was the head of revenue management for the last 15 years. So the last 2-3 years of my career, I tried to prepare myself to give a step further in my career. Okay. And things happen in life. So I had an opportunity. I know the Familia Mayor, and these things happen in life. You never know when your next promotion or your next new job is coming. I can say something specifically. How can I get to be a CEO of a company? I mean, I think that this is a result of a consolidated career. I try to study a lot to hold that job. I was preparing myself during almost my entire life. I was taking English lessons. I was taking, speaking in public lessons from, probably 10 years ago. As I say before, this is one of my dream job. I wanted to be something like that during all my life. And, inconsistently, I was preparing myself to have that. Probably, you never know if you can get some opportunity. Being honest, I think that the opportunity came to me early than expected. I am 20. I wish I'm 42 years old, so I'm pretty young for the role. I was expecting to have that opportunity probably in 10 years. But when you see the opportunity and you feel prepared for that, you take it in life. So I think that not only for being a CEO of a company, I think that being for every single thing that you do in your life, you need to trust yourself. Probably one person in my shoes will thought that this is too much for me, no? But I said, okay, probably it's too much, but I get it. I need to get it. There is nothing specifically to answer your question, but
yeah, I'm curious it is fairly recent that you became CEO. So I'm curious, when you became CEO, what surprised you about the role? What was new that you did not expect?
When you are as a director of revenue management or a director of an area in the hotel, you are specialized in something. Mm-hmm. You are really highly specialized. Mm-hmm. In my case, I was highly specialized in revenue management. So I knew almost everything in revenue. because I was the head of revenue of that company.
Of course.
With a team of 120 persons. So I was managing my daily basis decisions with a really confidence, because I know how can I do in every moment that I was working. No? But when you are a CEO and when you are starting as a CEO, I mean, I have a lot of doubts because a lot of things came to my desk and they are asking for answers. And I said to myself, okay, what can I do with that? Because it's the first time in my life that I need to take this kind of decision. Okay, this is really tough. It's not tough, but it's complicated. But for me, really easy to resolve that because I'm speaking a lot with my team. I say, okay, I'm the CEO of the company. Yeah, no problem. But what do you think about that? I'm asking to you, what do you think? You are bringing to me one question, but the first question I bring back is, what do you think about that? What do you think that we need to do with that? Because if you think that this is necessary, I will support you in that. Don't worry, I will support you. You need to learn to support your team when you are in this kind of position. I mean, if you want to take all the decision in the company, being the CEO, you will, from my perspective, you are making a huge mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You need to let your team taking decisions. You are to support them. I think that part of my job is trying to give the necessary tools to my team to get the results, to get the result of the company.
And you're there to support them.
I'm there to support them, only for that. I think that the CEO of a company has two main roles, which is build a great team and also be the protector of the culture of the company. This is a huge role for the CEO of the company. And I'm starting to feel that you have in your own hands the direction of drive the culture company. And this is one of the most important things because a bad culture could end a company. So you need to work a lot in the values of the company, in the culture of the company, how the company behaves in the daily decisions. This is one of the main tasks that a CEO must do. Right now in my role, as I said, I was appointed almost 9 months ago. So I'm learning a lot from other departments. I control a lot the commercial side because due to my expertise in revenue management, I almost control that part perfectly. But human resources, operation, maintenance, all the areas that supports a company, it's like an MBA daily because I'm learning a lot because I'm listening a lot to my team. But I have done that all my career. So if you want to really lead a team, you need to listen more than talk. So I'm trying to do that and trying to learn and trying to give to my team the necessary tools and, trying to be a good person, trying to do my job as good as I can. And when you have faith in that, you will get your results with no doubt.
I want to get back to revenue management, but before we go, I'd love for you to explain or describe the culture of Port Hotels, right? Because you spoke very passionately about maintaining the culture. How would you describe it?
I mean, the companies has a culture always.
Mm-hmm.
Every single company has their own culture. There is no doubt about that. Some part of that has writing. You have your culture written in some papers, in some spaces, and other companies don't do that. They don't have a manual where you can lead your DNA of that company. If I need to explain how is our culture, we are a family business, and we truly believe that our company is our employees. The employees are in the center of everything. And we try to do our best. Maybe sometimes we don't get that, but we try at least be humans. We are a very human company. And when we need to take a decision, we start thinking, okay, is that correct for our team or not? Maybe it's not correct for the business, but the first thing is this correct for our team? Is this correct for our business? We are a very trusted people. When you speak with somebody or your team, you know that they are telling you the truth. And this is one of the most important value in life. Because, when somebody lies to you, you build something from a lie. And when the lie is always, I can say that in English, but the lies are really short term problems, okay? Because all lies come to the reality in some way, no? So we are all also very passionate when we do something. We do it with passion, and we like to host our guests, and we try to do things thinking also from the guest. For sure, there is more details on that story, but the core is we are a family. We truly believe that family is first. Family is always first. We have a job, but with our family is always the first
That's
priority.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Because the results sometimes will came, sometimes will not came, but your family is staying with you the whole life. So I was speaking this week with one person who has a healthy, a really important health problem,
Mhm.
and I called her and I told her, don't worry about the company. We will survive. Don't worry any minute about the company. Worry about you, worry about your family, and once you are fully recovered, you come back. You will have your space with us. But please, I'm begging you that you rest and you spend time with your family, because it's the only way that you can recover for your illness. Okay, and this was this week. It's a little bit emotional. Um, but if your people is not happy, you don't treat well your people, mm, your guests are not going to be well treated. And of course, we need to improve a lot of things. We don't do things perfectly. We do a lot of mistakes daily as a company, but also we do a lot of things in a good way.
You spoke as a CEO how important it is to surround you with people who you can rely on, right? You can
Yeah,
help them make decisions.
yeah,
You have 1,000 employees. Recruitment must be a challenge, right? How do you attract the best possible, I guess, executives,
yeah.
leaders,
I,
employees
you
as a
know, you
company?
know, that this industry has suffered a lot after the COVID. Okay, probably it was one of the industry which has more problems after the COVID. Okay, because we needed to close all our hotels worldwide and all the restaurants. So a lot of people left the industry, and we are facing a labor shortage right now. I'm not speaking about poor hotels in specific. I mean, I'm speaking about globally. We are sort of a staff in our industry. No? But I think that we need to focus in three important pillars to try to bring back to the industry to all the people who left the industry after the COVID. Okay. First of all is work-life balance. Working in hospitality industry is really complicated sometimes. So we need to flexible schedules, try to make fair workloads, and ensure that the employees are okay in their job. Because burnout in our industry is is a really high problem in our industry. So we need to work really hard for that. Second one, I think that a good culture will help to recover that people. If you are able to go to your job with a smile in your face, you are in the right spot. You are always in the right spot. I'm always telling to my team, if you came to your position on Monday with the same energy that on Friday, you get it. Okay. So we try to do that. I'm always speaking, I'm smiling the whole day. Sometimes I'm angry. Sometimes I have problems at my home, but I try to smile. I try to smile every single day. And I'm trying to go to my job on Monday with the same energy that on Friday. The same energy. Because I love my job. I love what I'm doing. Not for being a CEO. I did that during my whole career. So I'm trying to give to all the people who were with me that. Okay. And also we need to invest, and I'm not speaking about my company, I'm speaking also globally. We need to spend more time and resources in training and career development. I think we need to give to our people careers internally. We need to create to them a path, a way to become a better employee, a better professional in terms of skills. So we need to train a lot our people. So we're trying to recolocate all the puzzles, all the pieces on that puzzle. Because after the COVID, this industry is struggling a lot about workforce and labor storage.
Why is giving a career so important in your opinion? I read that you're working with top hospitality schools. You're investing as a company heavily in the training and education of your team members. Why do you think that's so important?
I think that this some part is like a message that you are launching to your people, to your team, to your employees. It's like a message. I want to invest in you. I want to invest in your skills. I want that you become better professional, that you improve. It's like we want to encourage our people. And the best way to encourage people is tell them, okay, I'm spending all this money in your career. I'm spending all this money in trying to develop a training program for you. So actually we are training more than 20% of the housekeeping department right now. The housekeeping department is like a forget it department in terms of training programs. So
Yet it's the most important, one could argue.
because some part of the industry thinks that they are not close to the client, they don't need to have some skills. But in our case, in December last year, 2024, we started a development program for all the not all the housekeepers for sure, but it's almost 20 housekeepers of the whole company. Okay, and we are teaching them new skills, management. How can you make a timetable? How can you manage your tasks in more efficiency? How can you treat your people? How can you learn English? How can you treat the guests? How can you upsell things in the hotel? Being a housekeeper, it doesn't matter. I mean, you are a really important part of the hotel. Okay, so we started last year with that. We will develop during this year this specific program, and also we started also this January trying to give MBA to all the GMs. All the general managers are receiving an MBA, hospitality MBA, only to reinforce the way that they do things in the hotel. And this is the starting point. We will deliver a lot of training hours this year because we have a very important training program developed for that year. And we will increase our resources yearly because we want to invest in our people. I mean, I like to be trained. So I'm also asking for training to my company because I think that this is the best way that your company could tell to you, you are important for me because I'm training to you. And the train is spending money and spending a lot of time, okay? Because the training programs are really expensive. At least in Spain, if you want to really high standards in terms of training, you need to spend a lot of money. But it's a cost. But for me, it's an investment. You need to invest in your people, and I think that as I said, one of the main important parts are the training programs. We know that.
Let's go to revenue management. You have a long career in revenue management. I'm curious what you've seen in the last few years happening to revenue management, meaning what are some of the changes that you've noticed to revenue management? And reversely, like what are some of the challenges that revenue management faces today?
Yeah, I'm trying to mix both questions, okay? Because I think that from the last 5 years, there is a very important technology who came very popular, which is the RMS, the revenue management system. With the introduction of this technology, okay, the companies are able to manage more portfolio with less hands, with less revenue managers, okay? And this is the first part that you need to take into account if you want to be a revenue manager. If your job is only changing prices, you will not be a revenue manager anymore. if your role mainly is to see the competitors, seeing your pickup, and changing the prices, you have less than 3 years of job right now. Because in 5 years, all the pricing strategies for all the companies will be made by RMS, with no doubts. But I encourage people to be a revenue manager, because I think that we need to change a little bit the meaning of that role, and we need to focus on profits instead of focus on revenue. That revenue managers, the problem that they have right now is that they are only focused on revenue streams, nothing more. I made a really great change in my career when I was a revenue manager, a director revenue manager, when I started to think about profits. All my strategy changed completely. And I
Give me an example. What changed?
I'm always, when I'm teaching that to the students, that example. What do you prefer, 100 euros of Expedia, of Booking.com, or 82 euros of Expedia collect? And all the revenues say to me, Booking.com. But at the end, it's the same rate, because Booking.com enters in your system in PVP, and you need to rest at the end of your course structure a cost, which is I don't know the name in English. Sorry, Sebastian.
Commission?
The commission of Booking.
Mhm.
What are the commission of Booking? The revenue manager doesn't see the commission of Booking. And this is the first question. What do you prefer, 100 of that or 82 of that? No, 100. This increases my ADR. You will be replaced by a machine in 2 years. So this is a really easy example, because when all the revenue managers in almost all my career told or spoke with me about the ADR of the hotels, this ADR contains the PVP rates of Booking.com without the commissions. So it's not real, your ADR. And you are taking decisions with this ADR, which is not real. So I think the next step on revenue management is at least control all the costs of distribution in your property. This is the first advice that I can give to a new revenue manager. Learn a lot about the cost of distribution of your change, of your hotel. You need to learn that. You need to know them. And also how your incomes affects the operation of your hotel. Because you can get your revenue through two important levers: ADR or occupancy rates. It's not working in the same way an all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean that a bed and breakfast in the middle of downtown. They are not working in the same way in terms of cost structures. They don't work in the same way. Okay? And also, they don't work in the same way in high season that in low season. So you need to understand that. You need to start speaking about profits, and they will go really smooth. You will become more powerful in the hotel, because you will be able to connect the incomes, the revenues, to the GOP, and these revenue managers will not be replaced by an AI of an RMS right now. A second advice that I'm always giving to the revenue managers is give or take a public speaking training program, because revenue managers has a very back office profile. But I needed to take lessons of public speaking. I wasn't able 10, 15 years ago to speak publicly. And it's very important, because you could be the best revenue manager in the world, technically speaking. But if you are in front of a GM, of a hedge fund, and you need to explain your strategy, and you are not able to deliver the information in the correct way, you are not a good revenue manager.
Okay.
You need to sell your ideas. You need to sell your strategies. You need to work a lot your selling strategies, because you need to convince a lot of people. I'm always saying that, resilience is something that all the revenues must have, because, being a revenue manager, you work with something which is very personal, which is price. Because price for the owner of the company is always cheap, and for the sales team, the same price is expensive. You need to be also really resilient, because you will not be able to make everyone in the hotel happy. So probably these are my 3 best advices. Focus on profits, train your public speaking, and be resilient.
Because you have to say no, right? The resilient part.
You know, a lot of times, if you are a GM and your revenue manager told to you yes every time, this is not probably you will leave money on the table for sure. You need to say no to a lot of people. Also, sometimes to the owners of the hotel or the business. This is not possible. And if you don't like it, we will lose money if we do that. Okay, I mean, if you take a decision based on data, and you are able to sell that decision to the owner or to your boss, you will not have problems.
You mentioned something interesting, which is like AI will not replace you, right?
AI will not replace you if you do these three things.
Okay.
If you only change prices, you will be replaced by AI. Because ChatGPT is able to make your monthly business review for you. You enter the data, and ChatGPT right now, today, is able to give you 2 pages of monthly review. So if you do changes in prices and if you do reports, you will be replaced in some years for sure, because the AI right now is changing the world. If you are able to manage that AI for you, you will not be replaced. But if you are only doing tasks that a machine can do really, really easy, you will be replaced with no doubt.
So as a successful revenue manager, let's say you do all these three things,
Yeah.
what do you use the AI for?
The RMS need to use the AI. The technology needs to use the AI. Okay? And they are using that for almost 5 years in another way, no? But if I'm a revenue manager, I will spend less time doing reports than to ChatGPT, for example. I hate when a revenue manager spend 60% of their time making reports, because there is some companies that the revenue managers spend 60% of the time making reports, making graphics, making emails to say because you have changed that price, or the result of the month are that because of that. If you are clever enough, you will spend less time doing that right now.
At Cloudbits, we're working on a project called Cloudbits Intelligence that puts together sales, marketing, and revenue management into a single platform.
Yeah.
That's been a struggle in hospitality for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I'm curious on your perspective. How do you make sure that marketing investment, revenue management, and sales work hand in hand?
Wow, this is a great question. Because I think that every single property in the world has the same problem. Okay, I'm trying to tell what we are doing in Port Hotels. I am a very lucky man because a very lucky professional, because we have a very understanding team. So we don't have internal problems. We don't have this politics in place in our company, no. But right now, marketing, sales, and revenue management are completely separated areas, and these three areas depend on me. But they need to work really close. They don't have this, but they have the same boss because it's me. So when there is a problem, I'm trying to act, but I'm not almost acting in that, because as a company, we need to know which is the area of each part. The problem is one sales want to do revenue want to do sales, and marketing want to do everything. The problem starts with that. Okay. So in our perspective, marketing's generate demand, sales capture that demand, and revenue management optimize that demand. Okay, the perfect cycle for that. And being a little bit more specifically, pricing and distribution strategies in terms of tactics are on revenue's hands. So department who say that 100 euros today is the correct price, it's only revenue management. Nobody, not including the owners or myself, could change that price, okay? Because if revenue manager said that, is because we trust them. In terms of contracting, the strategic vision of the pricing when you need to contract these rates, sales came to the scenario, also supported by the data of revenue management. Okay, they are supporting them to create the whole contracting period for the next year. And marketing is working really close with revenue management in terms of campaigns. So when marketing needs to make a new campaign, they go to revenue management and ask for the better periods and better channels or better countries to make that campaign. Okay, so we try to do that. This is theoretically, because sometimes in the reality it's happened not like that. But we try to define the work of every single department. We try to, it's always a complete question in the companies, but as I said, I'm very lucky, man. My team is really gorgeous and really excited, and they are able to take decisions together without.
And the results seem to speak for itself. Like, you're
Yeah.
running at record occupancy.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
fantastic ADR. Are you happy with the result? What can be improved, if anything?
I mean, the results of that year are really, really impressive. I mean, we have increased almost 12% our ADR, and we have got an annual occupancy rate of 91%.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
which is
Sorry, that's amazing.
yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we are really happy. It's true that in this area there is two main important parts of the year: the winter and the summer. The winter are complicated ones. The winter is really complicated in the area, but we have worked really hard to increase our occupancy rates during the winter. There are three important decisions that we took some years ago. That first one, we need to shift from static to dynamic rates and dynamic pricing. So we try to move all our contracts to FIT rates to dynamic rates. It was one of the most important movements that we did. Also, we optimize where we are optimizing our business mix. So we try to have more yieldable rates on direct sales. We have a very important strategy for increase our direct sales. It has increased a lot for the last 2 years. And also we have expanded to the new markets. We didn't have covered well some part of the market, so we try to launch new markets. So this is an incremental production for the hotel. So these three aspects has been really, really, really key for us. But I need to say that all these results are 100% of our team. I mean, I didn't do anything for that. I was appointed 9 months ago, and it was everything done by the team. So I didn't do anything. I only make the PR in this case, but all our results are on our team's hands, with no doubt. And we are really proud, not only for the results. We are really, really proud. I'm really, really proud about the team.
You talked about RMSs as a key component to effective revenue management. Walk us through your tech setup in general. Like, I assume you use technology left and right.
Yeah, we use technology at our company. All our technology is 100% centralized. Okay, this means that every single property has the same tech structure.
Beautiful.
Which is really important because it's more efficient. It gives us a really strong competitive advantage because we ensure consistency in our process, efficiency, and real-time data, because all the portfolio has the same structure, have the same databases, have the same PMS, have the same channel manager. We have every single software chosen in the same way for the whole inventory. Okay, so if you work in one hotel and you work tomorrow in another hotel, is the same. We work with the same technology. Okay, we have PMS, channel manager, BI, CRM, a software benchmarking technology, and a web app in every single property, the same, and 100 centralized. Nobody in the company incorporates something in terms of tech stack without the permission of the IT department in the headquarters. And I think that this is very important, because when you are running a company with more than 10 hotels, this could be a nightmare in terms of technology, because every single hotels have their own PMS, have their own channel manager, has new things, new software that you go to a hotels and the GM tell to you, okay, I have this new system. No. It doesn't work like that. This is a nightmare in the future because you are not agile in making changes. You are not efficient in terms of course of tech stack. So we try to do 100% centralized. And nobody enters a single software without knowing the headquarters.
Before we wrap up, I'd love to sort of talk about the future, right? Like what is in store for you, for yourself, but also for Port Hotels. Where are you going? What do you see happening in the future?
In the future, speaking globally, I think that the AI agents will change the way that we work. There are a lot of tasks that will be made by AI agents in 3 years. Almost repetitive tasks, administrative tasks. I think that this is the new revolution of that industry, because in the hospitality industry, we do a lot of things in the back office. We do a lot of administration jobs and administration tools and administration tasks, better said. Sorry. So I think that this is going to be the next revolution, the AI agents.
Okay. And then for yourself and for your company?
Yeah, and speaking about our company, I'm truly believer of technology. I mean, I a very passionate technology. I don't know how can I say it in English, but I love technology, okay? So we try to incorporate technology that it will focus in two aspects: guest experience, and also operational efficiency. Okay? We try to cover these two areas. During the last months and almost the last year, we have incorporated the paperless check-in. So we are able to do check-ins without papers right now. So we do with some tablets or something in the reception, not in the whole company, but some part of the portfolio has it. Also the pre-check-in, we do a lot of pre-check-ins. So when you get your reservation, I think that one day before your arrival, you get an email and you can make the pre-check-in. So you check into the hotel and they will give only the key of your room. Also, we are implementing, and we today I had one meeting with my team about that, the web app. We are developing with a company, with an external company, a web app for our guests, for our customers. In this app, all our guests will manage reservation, required services. They will have exclusivity offers in that web app. And also we implemented AI chatbots 1 month ago in our website. So if you go to porthotels.es, right now you could speak consistently with an AI agent right now, driven by a chatbot. You can have a really proper conversation with I don't know how can I say, with her, with him, with it. We try to implement, this kind of technology who help our guests to have a better experience, and also to help our employees to be more efficient and more happy.
That's amazing. All right. I'm curious. Diego, CEO of Port Hotels, where do you go for vacation? So my final question.
Wow.
What's your go-to destination?
I don't know if I'm able to say what I'm going to say. I don't take a vacation. I mean, I have holidays, but I was traveling a lot during the last 15 years. Right now, in my new position, I'm not traveling a lot, but my family lives. I'm living far away from my family. I see my family only the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm at holidays, I want to be at home with my family. Nothing more. So I don't.
That's your destination. That's where you go.
I don't do anything, Sebastian. I don't go to fancy destination. I don't spend money on holidays. I try to be with my family at home, with my kids, and trying to be happy. It makes me happy to be with them. I don't see them so often, so I don't want to travel. I don't want to take planes. I don't want to go to hotels, because when I'm in a hotel, I don't enjoy the experience. because, I'm seeing,
Your brain is working.
yeah, I'm seeing all the defaults, all the problems, and I'm thinking we have paid that, and look at that. And my wife said, Diego, this hotel is perfect. So, and I remember one time, I probably 10 years ago, I went on holiday with my family. I spent 1 week in the hotel, and the checkout, I give to the reception a report of the hotel of 10 pages. I say, okay, give to your GM. It was fantastic holidays, but I will improve 10 pages. Take it. So I don't like to go on vacation or hotels. I try to spend with my family, Sebastian.
Nice. That's typically also sort of our closing question, which is what lets you sleep easily at night? What keeps you up at night in the morning at the beginning, and then what lets you sleep at night? Sounds like you spending quality time with your family is the thing
Yeah.
that makes you sleep well.
If I need to see something, for sure, my family. If I'm able to, when I'm with my family, I'm with my family almost 1 day, 2 days per week right now. When I'm with them, I'm sleep pretty well, because some part of the days I live with my kids and my wife, everything together in the same room. So we're really happy with that. But if I'm taking that to my professional side, I'm able to speak well when I behave as a good person. It's simple as that. And I can't finish the podcast with a better ending. I sleep well when I'm a good person.
Diego, thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts, your insights, and your story. So thank you very much for joining the program.
Thank you very much for your time, for the opportunity to be here with all of you. I'm really glad to have had that time together, Sebastian.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of yet another episode of The Turndown. Huge thanks for all of you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. Of course, this podcast wouldn't be possible without the amazing team behind the scenes. A massive shout out to the producers, Paula Carrero, Linda Pejai, Lana Cook, Ricky Sherman, and Ailey Fakuhasen for the incredible research and pre-production work always keeping us on track. To Paulo Sanchez, thank you for your stellar audio editing and for making us sound so good. And finally, thank you to Ying Liu for her organizational talents and keeping the season on schedule, literally. Remember to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and follow us for updates and bonus content. Until then, take care and stay curious.